Hello and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Acts. And we're at 500 subscribers, so you know what that means. More live Rammstein.
It's been a
And
whirlwind of specials this week, hasn't it?
yeah,
We've done 100,000 views, two
birthday.
birthdays, and then which go and watch all those videos. I'm doing that like that's how you do it, but they're all on the channel, and yeah, and then we hit the 500 subscribers today, didn't we? So
Yes.
it's specials, specials, and more specials.
So we did at the last one put it out there for you lot out there to give us your suggestions for what we do
Yeah,
next as the live Rammstein. We
yeah.
had 7 songs in the list, and we are leaving it up to the spinny wheel of doom to spin the wheel and make the deal on what we are going to
Partially,
do.
Chris knows this. I do love a spinny wheel. I'm not going to say this is the greatest spinny wheel I've ever found, and that I was expecting us to have a bit more time before 500 subscribers. So, but yeah, who doesn't love when? Let's say these are like 7 children that we actually like. The 7 of the 25 kids didn't like the other ones, but these are the 7 children we did like, and it was too hard to choose. So we went, well, let's let fate decide. Now, when I put it up on the screen, you will see that fate has decided one. That's not the one we're doing. That was it automatically did a spin when I loaded it up. So it'll be span again. But are you ready to see the amazing excitement that comes with spinning the wheel?
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
In fact, I've switched the sound off for this, but I promise in before it goes up, I'll get some sort of sound effect to go along with this spin. But here we go. Adios.
A song
Goodbye.
that we've not done on the channel yet because it was part of the Mutter
Yes.
album.
Yeah.
So it falls into the remit that can be done because it
Because we've
is a
I've
song
listened
that
to
you've
it. Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
This was before we were doing like the whole album. But what we were doing is we were reacting to the ones with a video, and then I'd listen to the album afterwards. So yes, a song in my pantheon of Rammstein, but yeah, not one on the channel. So it'll be a debut. A
so let
debut.
me go and find that because I did have all of them on a playlist to grab. Bit of being prepared there.
See, you're a good boy, aren't you? Really. You know, all those insults I throw your way. And whilst you're doing that, I'm rapidly trying to reset from the spinny wheel that I've just put up on the other screen, which I had to change the screen dimensions. Here you go. Look, this has got to be the most exciting thing for anyone ever. This is how it's all made backstage. Like,
This is the sausage factory, as they
well,
say.
all this stuff is, and I'm going to say pre-prepared. You know, you've seen the quality of our videos, so you determine how pre-prepared stuff is. But I'd like to think of this is how we do it on the fly as well when 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 a spinny wheel is deciding our fate more than anything else.
So I have
Oh,
pinged you over the video.
well, I will be. In fact, Chris, do something interesting for the audience while I load it up. Maybe tell an
I shall.
anecdote about all the bad things you've done in your life.
Well, I can't do that because that'd be libelous, and
Is it
the internet is
libelous?
forever.
Is it libelous when it's bad things you've done? Because if you've done them and you're saying it, it's not liable at that point, is it? You're
I guess
admitting
it's
to
not.
it.
It's
Yeah,
it's not libel, but you know it can come back to haunt me and kick me in the ass.
that is true. Stuff stays on the internet forever. I'm told.
Yes.
Really shouldn't have allowed those photographs to be taken. Right. After all of that juxtapositioning and changing things around, we've got a screen. We've got a song. We've got 500 subscribers. Let's do this.
Let's go. So, Mr. Seddon, obviously, I know you've listened to Adios, but I haven't spoken to you about Adios because we didn't obviously go into depth on all the songs from
Yes.
Mutter.
Yeah, it's a bit of a kind of highlight reel at the end, wasn't it? Of going,
Yeah,
I like this album, you know, because it was one of the albums I quite liked. So, yeah, I think it's a cracking song, isn't it? I think it's where it really excels for me is the slow down, speed up. And when I say the slow down, speed up, those kind of real cut off points. So
yeah.
we are going at a fair old pace, aren't we? We've got that dan 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 dan, and then when it slows down, yeah, and yeah, amazing to kind of see that primarily being done on a single drum.
Yeah.
Like, and done so casually on a single drum as well. Like I think I'd be dying if I had to put that much exertion into anything. But it's just like very much I'm standing here doing my drums. But obviously when it pairs right back, at a certain point it's just lyrically, and then at a certain point we transition down into the sort of very subtle slow guitars, and I think that's really to the benefit of this song. Like who doesn't love a massive transition throughout
Yeah.
songs? And they do it so well, you know, like we talk about this on a lot of their stuff. They can fly in and out of speed, tempo, style, emotion range so quickly, and I think this is a really good example of that.
Yeah. This is my favorite song on Mutter. This, yeah, this is one of those ones that, in a way, is a hidden gem because it's not one of the singles. But yeah, no, this is my banger on Mutter. I just absolutely fucking love it.
It is though in the last couple of albums, like because we've done the full album, but so probably more so than any previous to Rose and Rot or Riser Riser. I do find we say that a lot. Like the songs we end up loving the most are the ones that didn't necessarily make it to a single or a video. And I guess that speaks to the depth of the quality that they are releasing. I mean, there's only so many singles you're going to release per album, isn't there?
Yeah,
But yeah, quite often the track that stays with us the most is one of the ones that wasn't out there, that didn't kind of get thrown out. And I always use MTV2 as the example because that would have been a place in the UK to see anything like this would have been MTV2. But yeah, I think it's an amazing song. And as I say, it's really interesting to see how, and presumably by design for this performance, but how casually they seem to be doing such work at the speed where
yeah,
I would have thought no casualness could be provided.
yeah. Just Farke, just there, who we know him predominantly as being keyboard boy, and
Yeah.
Till's whipping boy, just smashing out a drum solo at that speed. It's just like,
Yeah.
yep,
But also on the guitars, like they are very kind of casually standing there when they're doing it, and then as soon as their bit stop, they just stop as if they've just done nothing.
yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
And how Richard played that flaming guitar whilst doing the solo, that guy's mental because you see how much that's coming off that, mate. Yeah, I
I'd
wouldn't
like
be
to say
waving
they
that around
tested
my
it
face.
beforehand, but knowing some of the stuff they do in their videos, I probably didn't. They probably just went, "Oh, it'll probably work." What could go wrong, eh?
We'll have double flames. We'll have some coming out of the neck and some coming out of the head of the guitar. Just go nuts.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, as I said, I love the song. Lyrically, I think it's a really interesting song because it's like music as a drug. Yeah, with things like the melody travels out of the skin when you put the needle in your veins, violins burning the shrieking, harps cut the flesh. It's just, it
Do you
is.
think it's talking to us as the audience and our experience of music, or do you think it more leans into their experience of music? So this is what it does to them.
I'm not sure. I think it's more them, because when you get the chorus, which is nothing is for you, nothing was for you, nothing
Yeah,
remains for you forever. Is that a, we do this because we want to, but then when they go with that forever, it's like, but is that, it will always be there as well?
but I mean,
It's a bit of a juxt on.
well, there's a big part, isn't there, where you kind of go, us not being professional musicians, I've always assumed that there must be an addictive quality to it. Once you
Yes.
get up on that stage and do the things they do. So you go back to that flaming guitar thing. That's probably born out of um, trying to find that next high, that next thing you can do on stage that takes it to another level, that keeps it fresh for you and exciting for you, and obviously that speaks much to what a lot of people experience in the world of any addiction, really, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
the I love this, I love this, I love this. I've done this a lot this way. How do I make myself get that next high, that next love of this? What
What's
do
the
I do
next
next?
step?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so it is one of those that I, underrated gem of a song, and very happy that it was put in the suggestion list.
Yeah, and there's a bit on there where it talks about fiddles burning with shrieks, doesn't it? And I'm going,
Yeah.
well, where was my fiddle on fire then? You let me down, Rammstein. They should have got a fiddler in for the night. So
I
it's
just
a
set him
gaff
on fire and
thing.
just.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. Shriek, shriek for the audience.
So obviously the other songs that were selected will stay in the spinny wheel.
Yes,
We
for spinning at a later date, and bearing in mind, depending on when we hit 600, we may have done another Rammstein album, so there might be more that can be added. But as it
yeah,
stands at the moment, that is the I don't know. Is there the Secret Six for DC Comics fans? That's the Secret Six that will stay on the list. So yeah, it all depends. If you want one of those six, go out there and find more subscribers for us. Because if you get them in now, you've got a much higher chance of it being one of those. Whereas with another album under the belt,
yeah,
your odds might go out to 1 in 10 at that point.
once we get to Libris for Alada, you've got some bangers there for live versions as well.
And when this releases, we are right at the end of Rose and Rock. Possibly this might go up about the same sort of time as the final song from it. There will be a short break between albums, and that short break is to do a couple of lists of suggestions and something that I don't think I've even spoken to Chris out loud about what I've done on our YouTube, asking for a poll for what our next album, the in between Rammstein albums, are going to be. Oh yeah, always best to do these things on the show. Um, so yeah, there will be a little break, but we are coming back. The Rammstein albums are not stopping. We will be back, and I think we've said it before. We're going to go right the way up to modern day, and then circle back round to cover some of the tracks from the first three albums that we didn't do because they were album tracks.
Yeah, and we will also be picking up Lindemann and Emigrant as well, because
Yes,
the solos stuff that the boys have done. But again,
and if
thank
you're
you.
lucky, one day we might read some of his poetry out to you.
I'll leave that
Oh,
one for you.
that'll be one hell of an episode, wouldn't it? You and I trying to butcher our way through the German language, reading poetry, stopping every word to go. What? How do you? In the comments, tell me how you pronounce this word. It'll be the world's longest poem ever.
So again, thank you very much for getting us to 500.
Yeah, it is really
If you haven't
appreciated.
already, like and subscribe.
Yeah,
Comments down there. As always, we love your comments. And until we are back with more, goodbye.